Hello, Jessica. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well too. All right. So I'm glad that you're here today on my request because I just want to spend some good time with you, understanding your interesting journey in terms of your experience being a DELF trainer and how you have imparted the language knowledge to the students across the language school. Okay. All right. So, very, very happy and a warm welcome to you for this podcast today. And let's spend some time understanding and having some interesting conversations. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Likewise. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
All right. So, Jessica, so I've seen your work and the way you teach students. I've seen your live sessions. I've seen your recordings also. Okay, it's been a very interesting methodology what you follow and the way you impart your knowledge in terms of how the right way the language has to be learned, right? Okay, so I have seen you as a professional with the language school, but I'm equally curious to know how you are as a person in your personal life. Okay.
Well, ma'am, I believe that life is what you make of it, and I feel a simple and a happy life is very important to me. In fact, there's a French quote which says, "Let your petit plaisir de la vie grow into enorme bonheur," which translates that, "Let your small little joys grow into enormous happiness." Saying that, I like to have a balance between being indoors and outdoors, spending time with my family, and exploring nature. And being an army officer's daughter, I got the chance to see the country, and it also made me learn that languages and culture really plays a very important role in one's life. Growing up, being able to see the francophone world really enamored me with the French language and culture, which made me pursue my French certification post my masters. And I hope that I continue living my life being happy and taking one step at a time.
Fantastic. So good to know about Jessica, as a person in personal life. But, when I say that I have seen your journey as a trainer with the language school, I'm always curious to know. That's why there are certain questions that come to my mind. When you train the students, right? Okay, so when the students apply for their masters in France to various universities, right? So I want to know from your experience. So how do these DELF and DALF certifications strengthens their application to apply for any kind of university?
Well, ma'am, I think DELF or the DALF certification is a huge advantage for a student. It highlights that you're able to, speak the language, you're ready to learn the course, and many French universities ask for a minimum of a B2 or a C1 level.
Okay.
And as a student, I think beyond the admission process, it shows that your CV, your profile is very enriched, and thus you are able to, avail scholarships, look for internships, and be able to work in the francophone world. It's just that you feel comfortable in a land which is miles away, and you're able to start your new journey. I think it's
Super.
really important.
Oh, that's really interesting. So I can imagine the DELF certifications, how the kind of impact and the mark they leave for any student to explore career opportunities or applying for their masters in the universities, right?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Okay, all right. But then when you train, the students for DELF certifications in the language school, how do you do that?
Well, ma'am, here at the language school, we keep our classes very exam oriented. Everything in a class is focused upon the four pillars of the DELF exam, that is, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. We ensure that there is a continuous feedback provided to the student so that they can work upon their strengths and abilities. And I think language learning is a very continuous process and should make the student feel confident by taking regular tests, sitting through full length mock exams, so they know exactly what that they're going to face in the exam hall once they're done with their courses and go into the DELF certification.
Lovely, good to know that. I mean, you don't understand unless you really get into the inside of the story, what you call, because from the outside it looks like that you are preparing for the DELF certification, but how do you actually do it is something very interesting. So my another question to you, Jessica, is then as as TLS prepares students for DELF and DALF, what are the strategies you apply? So obviously these certifications are based on four areas is what I understand: reading, writing, listening, and speaking, right? So specifically for writing and for speaking, what are the strategies do you all use for your students so that they get a perfect success in what they want to achieve?
Oh, well, ma'am, I feel that language learning is similar to building a house. It's a step-by-step process, one brick at a time.
Yeah.
Rather than making a student feel overwhelmed by the language all at once, here at the language school, we go step by step. Be it for the writing section, we first start small, maybe with a little sentences, then some paragraphs, and then being able to express themselves in articles or essays. And when it comes to the listening or the oral section, we again ensure that the students are able to participate in interactive dialogues, talk about various topics, express themselves on various subjects. The
Okay.
goal is to make them feel very comfortable. And I think
Absolutely.
that language learning is a very immersive process here rather than just memorizing concepts. And every class is tailor made for a student so that they are comfortable and confident throughout every class. So by the time that they're done with the course, they're very confident to be able to speak the language with ease.
Superb, superb. I'm very, very happy, and it's quite interesting the way the trainers like you who are absolutely fantastic in their work, and how you train students for the DELF and DALF certifications. And ultimately, what I see from what you were trying to tell me in terms of the learning process, what you follow is you try to get or try to build that kind of confidence in every student, right? And hence, when they move out of TLS, they have that level of confidence to appear for any level of DELF exam or a DALF, right? C1, C2. Oh, lovely. My last question, I can probably keep on talking, because the way the language school, does the work in terms of language learning and the way students learn language in the language school, it's a never ending topic, and it's always been an interesting journey. However, I'm parking a last question to you is, just tell me few students who have done their DELF certifications and who have been able to capitalize on opportunities, and yeah, can you just throw an insight on that?
Absolutely, ma'am. I think every student is unique and has their own set of elements and personality that they bring to a class. Well, some of the noteworthy students that I remember, there was one student, in fact, she came to us at the A1 level. So she
Okay.
wanted to pursue her higher education in France, for which she needed a minimum of a B2 level certification. And
Absolutely.
at first, she was a little hesitant because you have to speak and be able to understand the listening sections. But with continuous practice and also work from her end, we were able to work on her strengths, her weaknesses. And in fact, when the DELF B2 exam arrived, she was able to clear the exam in the very first go with a very good score. And now she's working post her master's happily in France. And I think that languages break barriers, and that's what the language school has been doing and is still doing for many people in their lives.
Lovely, good to know that. And I'm sure when students achieve their goal and when they get what's a success what they have been planned, and I think that's the success for the language school also. Right.
Absolutely.
Lovely. Okay. Thank you so much, Jessica, for this time of yours, who's a trainer, who is absolutely fantastic and has been doing and training DELF students in the language school. The journey I have seen of students who have been really confident and successful in language learning and getting prepared for DELF exam. Lovely. Thank you for your time, and I really had a interesting conversation with you today, okay, in this podcast. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful, wonderful session. In fact, it was really enriching, and I really had a wonderful time being able to interact with you and to talk about our students and our time here in the language school. Thank you
Yes.
so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, ma'am.